last night, as you'll see in the title of this video, from Turkey. So I just wanted to take a moment to kind of discuss my travels and my experience while I was over there. I am smoking a Cohiba Habana Cuba. It's the famous cigar because it's Fidel Castro's preferred cigar. I think they came out in like 1966. It was given to one of my coworkers by a customer as like a tip. He just asked him like, "Oh, you gonna enjoy those cigars?" And the guy was like, "Here you go," and gave them to him. So he gave them to me. I got my wife out here, Mackenzie. She's just reading a book, just trying to relax a little bit. Just got done mowing the grass. But yeah, so back to Turkey. I just got back last night. My flight was delayed, so I didn't get home till around 2 a.m. or so. Sorry, honey. I was supposed to go that way.
Okay.
But yeah, so we went to Turkey. It was titled as a pastor's tour. Here's our itinerary that came with, that they hand us when we got there. So I'll be looking through this to remember some of the places we went. But for a lot of people who, know the Bible and maybe don't know it, a lot of what Paul did in his ministry through evangelism was in what is in today's Turkey. A lot of the churches he planted, roads he traveled, things he wrote about in the text, in the Word, was based out of Turkey. I'll read you a couple of the places that we went to. We went to the Blue Mosque in Istanbul. We went to a Greek Orthodox church. My favorite part was we went through the 7 churches that talks about in Revelation, and we actually got to go there and stand where the people stood of the day and go over the text there and just look at it and really break it down on a more physical realm instead of just spiritual, always thinking, oh, what is it like? What were those people? How did they live? Things like that. To actually go there and see it, it really, comes alive. We went to Tarsus. We saw the birthplace of Paul. We saw the home. They had a place there called the Well of Paul, and they don't know if it's actually the well, but they know he was in that area. So we went there. It's pretty cool. I'll read over the churches that we went to real fast. And then after this, I'm going to just talk about, we went to a place called Hierapolis where there was some natural mineral springs. They're hot year round. So we went there and got to kind of swim and stand in those. I might try and put a picture, in the slideshow for those so you can see what it looked like. But we went to Laodicea, went to the Church of Philadelphia, Sardis, Smyrna. We went to Ephesus, which was pretty awesome. And as you know, those are all books. Those are all titles of books that Paul wrote. Ephesus especially. We went there. It's pretty awesome. We went to Troy to see the replica of the Trojan horse that they came in on. So we did a lot of awesome things. Also, this shirt that I'm wearing, if you can see it, it says Philo Cappadocia, and we actually did a hot air balloon ride there. I'll put a couple of pictures of the scene that we had there. That was unexpected. That was extra that we didn't know we were going to be able to do. But as far as the itinerary and the schedule we kept, it was pretty ridiculous. I'm trying not to blow smoke in her face, but it's not working. I should have stayed over there in that seat. But we had at least, I left on a Sunday, and I got back not the next Friday, but the following Friday. So I was gone for, almost 14 days total. And at least 7 or 8 of those days with 5 a.m.s, either taking a flight in a bus for multiple hours. But that was something that was so eye-opening, because thinking about Paul and people of those days, the ancient days, just after Christ and even before, obviously, just walking, going there and seeing the terrain. And this was not your standard South Carolina, where I live, terrain. This was up and down valleys, hills, mountains, water, rock. Like, it was not something easily traveled. But yeah, so we put in a lot of miles. I activated the Find a Friend with my wife when I was over there, and at one point I think we were like 5,800 miles away from each other, which was crazy. I never traveled out of the country besides we went to Mexico for our honeymoon. It was funny too going over there. A lot of people, here in America, were really kind of scared for me. I never really got congratulations or it's gonna be an awesome experience. I always got like, I'm praying for you. I'll pray for your safe return. So a lot of people were really afraid because Turkey in the past has been hostile. It's been okay. We've had good relations with them, bad relations with them, and there was people there in the stereotypical turbans and the woman wearing the veils. But I mean, we had no issues with anyone, which was, as far as I was concerned, and from what I heard, was surprising. I think at one point, right before we went to Antioch, we were about 45-minute drive from the north border of Syria. So what we did was we flew into Istanbul up north, did all of our tours there, went all the way down south right near the Syrian border, and then we took a bus and we stopped at all the places going back up Turkey if you're looking at Turkey on a map. And at one point in time we were like 45 minutes away from Syria, which a lot of people don't do, but like I said, I mean, the people there couldn't have been more friendly, and they were always happy to see Americans. I heard all the Americans, and we learned how to speak a little bit, like say thank you and goodbye, which I'm sure that we still butchered, but like hello, how are you doing is merhaba nasılsın, which is hello, how are you, and then thank you is teşekkür ederim, and that's how you say thank you. So seeing the look on these local people's faces when they first time they've seen an American, and we walk up to them and they give us food or we purchase something from them, and everything there is negotiations. Like, you don't pay sticker price for anything. Like, you always are going to negotiate, because that's the way of life. That's what they want to do. If they tell you, hey, do you want this thing? It's $50. If you're like, no thank you, as you go to walk away, sir, it's $30. Sir, it's $20, right? That's kind of what they like to do. And then every time we would say thank you to them in Turkish, it would always say, wow, and just seeing the reactions from them, and because obviously tourism is good for the economy. So for them to see Americans starting to come back, and there's a big group of us, there's about 45 of us. So for them to see this bus and all these Americans get off, wide-eyed and bushy-tailed, and going to eat their local foods and going to these restaurants, and it truly was amazing. And our tour guide, her name is Dilek, D, we called her D. She was just seeing her patriotism, just seeing how much she loved Turkey and how much she wanted us to really indulge in everything that they had to offer. It truly was, eye-opening. I think that patriotism and the love of one's country is something that we're definitely missing, here in America. But it really was just, like, even whenever we would go somewhere and none of us would want to get ice cream from this certain vendor or anything, she would go buy it for us, and she would say, oh no, taste this. And she was always just, everything was about coming back and bringing different groups back and everything. And, so just going there, it's kind of made me want to travel a little bit more, which I know is music to my wife's ears, because she wants to travel around a lot. Whereas I'm normally fine just sitting around doing nothing, just relaxing like this. But it was, now being home, there truly is no place like home. But if anyone out there is ever, thinking about going on a trip or anything like that, I mean, I would definitely encourage you to not always believe the hype. Sometimes it's important to be knowledgeable about situations, especially when you're traveling somewhere like a foreign country like that. But the crazy thing is, if I would have listened to everyone here and all of the critics, I would have been either too afraid to go or just decided not to, and I would have missed on all of those opportunities and just to go there and see all of these things. There's the guy who is hosting it is a pastor. His name is Jay McCarl, MCCARL. He also has a YouTube channel. I would encourage you to go check him out. And he actually shot video, on all the spots where he was, like all the places we went. He would shoot a video and like read the Bible text about that location and really go over it. So I'll definitely encourage you to go check out his videos. He gets a lot more in depth. I was just trying to take it all in for myself, let alone trying to make videos and talk about it. I was just trying to, live in the moment, which is good, because you know, a lot of people on YouTube talk about being slave to YouTube and being slave to videos and stuff and not being able to experience anything first person because they're always looking through a screen. So I was actually, you know, just fine to relax and just try to go. I mean, I think one of the guys we were with, he had a Fitbit on. I think we were averaging about 13,000 to 14,000 steps a day. You can, you know, do the equation, see how many miles that is. But, you know, through everything we went to, a couple of people got sick, whether it's because of local food or just the diet change or the lack of sleep or whatever it may be. But it's definitely something that brings you closer together as a group and really makes you miss, you know, your loved ones back home. I know Mackenzie was really happy. We went to an authentic Turkish rug company called Turksman, and we got to go back behind the scenes and see how they made the dyes for the carpets and how they used things from the land like acorn shells or cherry blossoms and all this stuff. And we got to go actually see how they took silk from like cocoons. I guess cocoons are wound in silk, right? And they would get them really hot so that the silk wouldn't break. They would take a wire brush and they would pick up the silk. I'll put the video in there for you guys.
Opa. Wow. See how you start, okay?
Wow.
Every single thread, you see, they are the same, you know, size, the same, you know, thickness. They're even. And then it's just going to join them together now. Yes, she has done this before.
Very good.
What? It's still going.
Evet, devam ediyoruz. And then, so that's a good one here. That one, you know, stays here for the rugs. And we don't use this one. This is, you know, not a good one from outside the cocoon. Hold on, evet. And then turn the wheels and you start to get the fiber like this. Look at that.
Wow.
See this one
Wow.
here?
Over there.
Actually, if you look at this one, see there are many here, but only one out of this. It's been twisted. And the ones that we take the silk off the cocoon, look at this one. See, they start to change the shape. One's like this, and becomes like that. And right at the end, you are going to see lots of bugs here. See? It goes from this to that.
And then the way they would do the silk and the way they would hand string these carpets.
Again, it's a cottage industry, cooperative. We train them first, and then after we give them the looms in the houses they work, not here, because there are the people that they have some excuses, not to work away from home. For example, you may have kids to look after, so or maybe you look after your parents, or you have some reasons, handicap, for example. So they work at home as a part-time job. So she has, let's say, 2 hours or 3 hours or 4 hours a day, so they work at home. And we pay them per work.
So I was already there, and I couldn't leave and not. I mean, it was a little bit expensive, but I got her these Turkish rugs at last generation, so we got 2 of those. And I know that she was very happy. Oh, she went and got one. What a good assistant. Thanks, honey. Hold it up. So, yeah, so they showed us, like, they start in the bottom, they would have a picture up above, and all this is handmade. So every color discrepancy you see is a new thread that has to be put in over time. And then they add these frails on the end, or what are these called, honey? Flanges or something? They add these little frailies on the end. But, I mean, it's good, thick, it's very durable. So we got these, and, and obviously I had her trick thinking I didn't get any. I went over there and didn't get any. So she was very happy when I came home. Thanks, honey. She was very happy when I came home, and she saw those. So I got some good souvenirs. I got her a shirt kind of like this one, a little more feminine. But, overall it was just an amazing experience. I'm glad I could kind of share with you guys. Go check out Jay McCarl's video. But other than that, I'm going to finish this cigar and let her read her book and just kind of sit here and have a little bit of silence, just to relax. I'm about 7 hours ahead of time. 7 hours, yeah, ahead of time. So whatever the time is right now, I think it's 6:46. So yeah, so I mean there it's already, what is it, almost 3 o'clock. So I'm still a little bit jet lagged. But you know, other than that, just gonna, like I said, sit here and enjoy. Thanks for watching the video. I'm at like 99 subscribers right now, so when I get to 100, I'll probably do some form of a giveaway, maybe like just request some video responses. But other than that, thank you guys very much. I'm gonna enjoy this Cohiba, and you guys have a blessed day, and thanks for tuning in.